But what I would like is to contribute to more belonging to people who are here. I mean, here in The Hague, in the Netherlands, anywhere. There's people repairing broken things, and we serve coffee and we make it gezellig, which is the best word ever. And so some people just show up because they like it there. Even if they don't have anything they need to repair, they just come because they feel welcome. If you want to create it for yourself, I would recommend doing things you enjoy doing and looking for people to do things together. So I think collective action really is the solution.
A very good day, everyone. How are we today?
Yeah, I'm okay. Hi.
It's always these first minutes. Welcome to a beautiful sunny day here on a public bench in The Hague as another new episode of the Good Place podcast. Last time you saw me on a bench, I was on holiday at the other side of the world, and now I'm back home. And I have to say, I like to be back. It's nice to reconnect with, my communities and people. And I also connected with you, who is sitting next to me.
Hi, Robin. Nice to meet you. Nice to connect.
Again. Who are you, and where did you bring us today?
Okay. My name is Laura de Franchis. You can say it the Dutch way or the Italian way.
I wasn't brave enough.
And we are in Emmershof. It's in The Hague, in my neighborhood. It's called City Garden, Stadstuin. And yeah, it's a place where you can come and sit down, I guess, in the middle of the city. Very beautiful place.
Yeah, because as you described, there used to be a building.
Yeah.
And the building is gone now. Taken over or bought at least by neighbors around here. Teared it down, and they created this beautiful city park, hidden, of course. I had to look it up where the entrance was, on which side of the neighborhood. But yeah, it's a bit of they call it a hidden gem.
It's definitely a hidden gem, and it's what I really also like about it is the story that you just told, and the fact that it would have become, I think it was 2008. They wanted to make 12 apartments, and then the neighbors decided against it, and they said, okay, we're going to buy it, and they managed to raise enough money to turn it into a garden. Yeah.
So this conversation, as in, well, since 2 months, this conversation is not only a conversation on a bench, which is the format of this podcast, but it's also nowadays a pin on the Good Place map of connection. So whenever people see this conversation, it's immediately going to be pinned in Emmershof.
Okay. Well, I should.
So bye-bye, hidden gem. No more hidden.
I should tell the people from Emmershof.
Yeah. Hopefully this is the first podcast recorded at Emmershof. Who knows? But Laura, to get into the conversation a bit more, like, what are you? So how long you've been living in The Hague for?
This time we came just during COVID, so 2020. So that's an easy count. So that's almost 6 years.
You say this time?
Yeah, I grew up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
In The Hague.
In The Hague.
All right.
Mm.
And then you left?
I left when I was 16, and I came back when I was, I have to count, 43.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you left for studies, adventure, love.
Studies. Yeah. I went to Paris, and then adventure as well. I was looking forward to, discovering other places. And I came back for family, I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah. My mom lives here,
Mhm.
And I'm living with my whole family on top of my mother's apartment. So we have a
Right.
Dutch house. So she has the ground floor, and it like weaves itself in, and we have the top floors. So that's really nice.
How did that work out? Because you don't hear that much that often.
Yeah, well, how did that work out? We ended up buying. Basically, my mom had bought the whole
Okay.
package at the time, and then at some point, for whatever reason, we decided to buy the top parts. But we were living as expats in other countries, including, I think that at the time maybe we were in Pakistan.
Oh, really? You
Yeah.
lived in Pakistan?
Yes.
Wow.
And there it's very common actually to have the grandparents on the ground floor and the family upstairs, and then, generations pass and it's a rotation basically.
So you get inspired.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed okay. I mean, I was very surprised that my husband at the time agreed to this, but he was very enthusiastic. I guess my mom is a great mom. And but we didn't know at the time that we were going to actually live in it. But then COVID hit, and we needed a place to be home,
Okay.
and that was home. So we came home.
Wow. Well, convenient. So you spent the pandemic together.
Yeah, with my mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. But as you know, it's not that common to live on top of your mother's place, right?
It's not, no. My husband has a lot of explaining to do when he has to explain how he accepted that. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. No funny mother-in-law jokes
No, not really. No, she makes the most jokes, really.
about it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, that's shared housing, all these concepts. That's the future of housing and living together and everything. I mean, it's a lot of these topics and conversations happen. Of course, that it seems that you already have it installed in any ways.
Yeah, it wasn't the plan. It happened, and it's working out so far so good. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So your kids are not allowed to leave home at one point, or they have to return.
Well, I think they really like it. They appreciate the fact. Well, they're very free basically because we can just we just leave the house and grandma's home, so it's fine. So they have a lot of freedom. I think they like it. Not sure they're gonna stay forever though.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. And what's life like in The Hague after seeing so many of the world and coming back here?
I'm very happy to be back. I think it's a really great place to live. There's a beach. I can't. Yeah, uh, lots of interesting places. It's relatively quiet. I don't know. It has good sides and maybe also some more complicated sides. I think
Okay.
compared to maybe living in other countries where people are maybe in a way sometimes warmer, less direct.
We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that there's a lot of cliches about the Dutch, and I'm half Dutch and half Italian. So in terms of identity, I've had to kind of struggle with, positioning and understanding. And I think coming back after many years, Dutch culture is interesting, I think, from that perspective. Of course, there's a lot of diversity, but yeah.
Yeah. I just pretend I don't know, but the Dutch could be warmer.
Some Dutch could be warmer.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
In what sense?
God, I don't like to generalize so much.
Or to compare, like what have you experienced somewhere else that
For example, in Italy, you go to a shop, you go there twice, they tend to recognize you.
Yeah.
And they make a point of letting you know they know who you are, and then so that's not necessarily the case. Although I don't like to generalize, but I think that in that way. And then I think something I also hear a lot, and which I like, but I see how it can be difficult, is also sometimes being very direct and saying things
Mm-hmm.
without the American sandwich approach, where you
Without a
say,
filter.
yeah, so sometimes it's, and I've experienced it myself. Yeah, training, for example, and getting very direct feedback from my peers and finding it very tough to accept
Mm-hmm.
very direct feedback. So I guess, yeah, from that perspective.
People could be a bit more considerate and
I don't think people have to change necessarily. I think, but it's something that if you know that that's kind of the way things are done, then it makes it easier. But sometimes the first time or when you're not used to it, it can be a bit hard.
yeah, a bit more kindness.
Yeah, maybe.
Beetje aardig zijn.
Aardig zijn.
Be
Be nice.
Be nice. Be a bit more friendly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
Okay. And what's interesting as well is that most recently, I mean, that's also how we connected. So you shared something on LinkedIn about a recent experience. And you dropped in some words there, and it, instantly resonated with, of course, with good places and everything. So I wanted to, get you on the bench.
It was about,
yeah, exactly.
I think it was a post on belonging and the fact that so we went to Ecuador for a couple of months with my family, and we ended up in this community called San Clemente, which is it's an indigenous Quechua community, and they are organized around tourism, and it was really very strong. The incredible the feeling that I had when we walked there, and immediately the people gave us a feeling of belonging just by it's just saying hello, holding hands, and saying you're here. And it was not they didn't need to know anything about us. They just that we were there, and that was wow, that was amazing. Great feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the biggest surprise from that?
I guess the openness, because I expected maybe being taught some rules about this is how we do things here in our community, and of course there were some general guiding directives and stuff that they did have for themselves, but they didn't expect anything specific from us. They were just happy to have us, and they were like, whatever.
You can do whatever you want.
You can just be here, and we'll take it from there, and then we will construct, or we will the stay will be based on that. And I thought that was amazing because if you think about belonging versus integrating, this was for me a genuine experience of belonging versus trying to fit in, which was absolutely not what was expected from us. So that felt great, and that for me.
Even as a traveler, you mean?
Yeah, as a traveler, I appreciate. I like to learn the language. I like to do my best to fit in. I don't want to, create any friction. I'm very conflict averse. But there it was really like, just be yourself, and that'll be fine. You don't need to make a special effort. They appreciated the fact that we tried to speak, Spanish and Quechua, but it wasn't necessary. And I thought that was very, very welcoming.
Yeah. And again, since you've been around the world and you lived in different places, like, is that something you've never experienced before? I mean, this was traveling, I know, but something like that when trying to live somewhere or adapt somewhere?
Well, yeah, I guess it was the first time it really struck me that I consciously went through or experienced it. Maybe I can't say that I was never welcomed that way, but it wasn't. I didn't see it let's say that. Yeah, I've always, when you travel, we've been living in many different countries, so every time we try our best to adapt. And
Yeah.
and I think that's not a bad thing necessarily, but it's different when you have to do it versus when you're free to do it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So whenever you move somewhere or you know that you're there for a particular time, you know you have to, or you feel a bit more pressure behind it. Maybe with only visiting or as traveling, it's like, oh yeah, you'll leave, or you know you're gonna be. You don't have to. You're not
Yeah,
like
but then
forced.
in a way you don't belong.
Yeah.
It kind of feels that way, if you want to. That's at least that was my kind of unconscious thinking, is that when you get somewhere, if you want to belong, you have to adapt.
Mhm.
But that does give a bad feeling, because I don't like expecting that from others. And so I had a bit of a dissonance. I don't know if that's the right word, but there was a contradiction for me. Like, I want to adapt, I want to fit in,
Mhm.
but I don't want to expect that from people coming to visit me, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't want them to feel like.
Yeah.
Um, and in San Clemente, I don't know, maybe it was, just the moment, but it just felt right. Does this make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
But sometimes I'm thinking
All
ahead,
right.
I'm not only processing, I'm also like thinking, okay, what can I tie it into? Because from that belonging post, you also made it somehow. You came with a call to action.
Yeah.
Like it's not only sharing an observation or a feeling. There's also something. Yeah, is this something I want to try to bring back home?
Yeah, to replicate,
Yeah.
and without, of course, being different, or I mean, becoming something different, but to replicate belonging. I think, yeah, being an expat actually in my own country as well. I mean, in the Netherlands, I am very busy also with issues, like topics that are very, let's say, uh, current these days in the Netherlands, including about migration and these things.
Mhm.
And I think we need, or I want, let's say, I don't know what everybody needs, but what I would like is to contribute to more belonging, to people who are here. I mean,
The Hague.
here in The Hague, in the Netherlands,
Mhm.
anywhere.
Mhm.
Very much also along. I mean, we were talking about it just before we started recording, but there's a lot of issues around how we treat people in general, including heavy topics like slavery and things like that. But without needing to go to that place, yeah, if we could be kinder to each other and to the people who are,
Yeah.
including in The Hague,
Mhm.
and creating a feeling of belonging. And I don't necessarily always think that we do that enough. So trying to replicate that and bring a bit more of belonging to The Hague as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with that. Also because it's also a mindset thing, I think, or a cultural thing, where people are a bit more individualistic around here than they are in Ecuador. Uh, so if we all would be caring a bit less about ourselves and a bit more about others, that kind of mentality shift,
Mm.
I think that's also needed to for that kind of behavior to reach out to others or to give others people a sense of belonging or to be more open to other perspectives and people's backgrounds. I would love to see that a bit more around here.
And the great, I mean, I think the good news here is that, you say, yeah, think a bit less about yourself, a bit more about the others. Actually, it's a win-win, because you feel good. It really feels great. And yeah, so doing things together, giving each other, because it's also about us, right?
Mhm.
We don't need to fit in either. We can just, be. And the idea is that everybody can be, and you do things together, and that gives you not only the feeling of belonging, but also meaningful relationships.
Yeah.
You get to know each other, curiosity, all these actually positive aspects of life that make it more interesting. So there's actually a very high, even if you do it for personal reasons, it's a great experience. So you don't have to give up actually anything.
No sacrifice.
No, it's no sacrifice.
It's only win. Yeah.
It may be counterintuitive, but it's no sacrifice, I don't think.
I think that's the same thing how people would feel that who welcomed you in Ecuador.
Yeah, I think so. I was
Probably they're not making the world and everything, but yeah, they do this every day.
Yeah, and I think, in my personal case, I was very moved, and they could definitely see it because I am, in terms of emotions, they kind of come up quite quickly, so they could see it immediately. And I think they were touched, and I think it was, I think for them, it was also nice to experience that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think they also deserve a pin on the map.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely.
Let's add those. Let's add them.
Yeah.
As an act of kindness.
Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. You can find them easily on internet. They definitely deserve a place on your map, and maybe you'll want to go and interview them. They're very nice.
Somebody wants to get me to Ecuador, I'm happy to jump in a plane and interview people over there. Sure. And continuing about this on this thread about belonging is that we should do something about it as well, right?
Mhm.
Like we should act. Do you have some ideas? You also said something about spaces of belonging, that or a space or a place should be a starting point of belonging and not so
Mhm.
much like an afterthought. Is there something you already have in mind, or thinking about projects or ideas that you want to I don't know how to convert that into belonging in The Hague.
Well, again, I don't think I'm not an expert in it, I think, but what my experience is, like as a lived experience of belonging, I really see that doing things together um, really works. And so now we are sitting here in Emmershof. This is a group of volunteers basically who are managing this. So I'm not one of them. But I'm a volunteer in another space just close to here, which is a Werkpaleis. And there, I really see, for me, when I came home from you, was okay. I'm gonna put in more energy into the Werkpaleis and things that we're doing there to give that space of belonging, also to contribute to it, because obviously it's not something you do alone. It's something you do together. And there's a lot of people there already working together, but I can contribute to it, right? And one thing we're doing is it's a repair cafe.
Yeah.
And we do that once a month. And that is we cultivate that as a place of chaotic belonging. There's people repairing broken things, and we serve coffee, and we make it gezellig, which is the best word ever. And so some people just show up because they like it there, even if they don't have anything they need to repair. They just come because they feel welcome. So for me, that's really some place where we manage to create that space where people just get their own place, and we know each other, we recognize each other, and I think for me, I want to do more of that. That's already running, but
and then you're volunteering.
Yeah. And I think the volunteering part, I also work in that space, but the fact when I do things on my own time, I think it gives even more meaning to it. So I'm kind of, playing with that. I don't understand it. Why does it give me more meaning when it's volunteering? But anyway.
Yeah, because there's also my thinking, like, it doesn't have to be volunteering,
No.
It could be your job.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you need Yeah, I mean, I'm a ZZP'er. How do you say it?
Freelancer.
Freelancer is myself. Um, and yeah, you need the money, so I guess you're not as free. I don't know, something there.
You're starting your own podcast.
I am starting, but that's free again.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe at one point not.
Yeah, no,
Good place
that's
is
true.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe so the idea of a podcast is to maybe make more known what people are actually already doing, that are creating, yeah, I guess to link to this podcast, good places where people can either physically go, but also, I mean, you can be part of a community and belong to a community that you don't physically meet, but you can work on things together. And that's the idea of, giving more of that, I think, especially these days where a lot of people, including myself, kind of will get pulled to the desperate side of things. And
What do you mean with that? Sorry. The desperate side of things?
okay. Well, okay, this is a very quick, superficial, maybe a description of what's going on these days. I'm very busy also with climate, environment stuff, climate change. And so you have kind of two sides of the same coin saying, okay, either you can deny the whole thing, say it doesn't exist, or you can despair about it and say, okay, this is the end, it's too late, it's never going to work. But then the result of both is that you don't act, right? Whether you despair or you deny, the result is the same. So the idea is to do something.
Yeah.
Action
Urgency,
helps.
Mhm.
And so doing things, and trying to do things that ideally would contribute to the solution, and making that more known. But you need to be, like, I think, ferociously optimistic in a way, or maybe not hopeful. Maybe hopeful is the better word, because that's something where you go to action. So not giving in to despair, although if you really do like how do you say, an analysis of our situation, it's, I think, from many perspectives, it's pretty bad.
Less optimistic.
You don't, yeah, maybe you could be pessimistic and in despair, but then if that means that you don't do anything about it, then I think that's at least not a place where I want to be, because I want to feel like I can do something.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's also a topic that you're working hard on, at least to put your energy in.
Yeah, to create alternatives. So the way I see it now is that, okay, we might be in a very bad place, internationally speaking, the context, lot of things going wrong, but this is the time to work on beautiful small maybe initiatives, or to make them known so that we can develop them more, and then people belong and do things together. That cultivates belonging, it cultivates meaning. So that's actually well, my how do you call it, my company, my Monsac, is called the Alternatives Factory. So it's actually not a place, although maybe one day it will be, but for now it's just a concept. But the idea is to cultivate alternatives too, so that we can, when the wave passes, this bad wave, then we can get a new opportunity. Then we're ready with all beautiful things that we can, that already, people are already excited about these alternatives.
Yeah. So people, that's the input into a factory, and then they get out, and then, right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they're already in the making, these alternatives, right? And it's lots of people, and we just need to get people to know about these a bit more, maybe sometimes, so that more people can contribute and connect, and that gives a feeling of belonging. So it's really like, well, it's a build up.
It's all these little cogs that are put together that make it work. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have many initiatives, right? You can have, like, this garden. When I showed you this, you mentioned another one that right? So there's actually many places. But when people discover this place for the first time, everybody goes like, oh, wow. And you're like, yeah, actually, there's more of these, And if you want, you can volunteer here, if you're in the neighborhood. Oh, really? Oh, wow. And then that gives a feeling of excitement and curiosity. I think that we can cultivate.
Yeah. And I think that's also what it is, like also doing what I'm doing at the moment is like if we create more awareness, more also through communication or storytelling like this, people become a bit more aware of, physical places, but also more about each other.
Yeah.
And I think when people start to be more conscious about the place where they live, then they also care more. So once this bad advertising, I won't mention the brand, but what the slogan was like, the more you know, the more you care. So then I was like, that always stuck with me. I was like, exactly, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what I also would believe. If people know more what it is and where things are about, then hopefully they care more.
Yeah.
And then roll up their sleeves and do something about it.
Yeah, and do things together.
Yeah,
exactly. You get to know people, and then you have. It's
mobilize your street, mobilize your I don't know, your colleagues, friends and families.
And another thing also, you can follow things that you like. Just in terms of, so this is another topic that I'm interested in. It's about this thing about leadership. A lot of people are talking, yeah, you need to develop leadership. I'm like, maybe not. Maybe leadership is not necessary, but you can also follow, if there's a nice initiative in your neighborhood, you can also just join. And it takes, it also takes action, and people need to follow. So that also helps. You don't need to have, if you don't have the idea yourself, but you find an interesting idea, you can just say, okay, hey, can I help? What can I do? And then you also do whatever you like to do. So that's where it's about creating a space. You can contribute what you like to contribute. So that makes the process also very nice. So even if the initiative ends up not working, you'll have contributed in a way that you like. So that's also positive.
Yeah. I call it more like good citizens or collective responsibility. Yeah, no, doesn't everybody can feel responsible, but not everybody needs to be a leader, right? As you say.
Yeah, no, I don't think we need so many leaders.
We need more followers. Subscribe here. This channel. Right here. Below. Subscribe. So more followers will lead to more impact, and that's the goal eventually.
Yeah, when the initiative speaks to you, I think,
Yeah, absolutely. When the initiative speaks to you, you can subscribe below. And visit the link here by Laura. Yeah, beautiful. This is, I think, funny as everything is interrelated, and it all comes down to people, all comes down to, bring people together. If we want to make this work, this world, the society, the feeling of belonging, I think I shared a poll the other day. Is that do you want to be known in your city, or do you want to be invisible in your city? Or the third option was depends on how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was only one person who said I want to be invisible. And a lot of people said I want to be known in my city, or I want, depends on how I feel. So yeah, people want to show up and share, and contribute to the city. But often they too caught up in daily life, or they don't know where to start.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And sometimes people don't even know that they would enjoy it. I think that's also something. It feels more like, oh, it's a lot of, I don't have time for that, But then if you look at a lot of research, people feel alone or lack a sense of meaning, and actually connecting with people and nature. I believe also connecting with other living beings, non-humans, also helps a lot with that. But yeah, I think some people haven't experienced it maybe, so you don't even know what you're missing actually.
Yeah. Yeah, same like you experienced in Ecuador in one sense,
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't pick it because of it. No, you went through it, discovered it, and then realized it. Yeah.
I think the key is curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best, and I think which is the bad one? Cynicism.
Another word.
You don't know
Oh,
cynicism?
cynicism. Yeah, okay,
Cynicism?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the poison, and curiosity is the antidote, right? If you're like, oh, but that's not going to work anyway, it's done that, been there, and you get that, when you have a positive experience, you get some people kind of tell you, oh no, but that doesn't work, and you're like, I wish you hadn't said that, it could work this time. Yeah.
And then you try to convert them or convince them, or you just okay, bye.
Well, it depends on how I feel. I think there's always value in understanding if something didn't work before. It's always useful to know what went wrong. So I think, yeah, I'm, it's good to listen to each other anyway. But, don't try not to be that person saying,
Be open.
yeah,
Yeah.
saying, oh, well, we've tried it and some things went wrong. Maybe, maybe I have something to contribute.
Yeah.
Especially if there's value in seeing the negative side of things as well, right? Because it shows you what can go wrong.
Sure. But at least you tried.
Yeah, I think you should try, especially if it makes you feel good when you do it, right?
Yeah. Well, I think people being like, these cynicism, they just don't think in solutions. They can just give opinions about what's not working. But all right, what's the solution?
Yeah.
What can we do different?
Yeah, and it's actually sometimes it's a cynicism that creeps up into you. Like I think I can be cynical sometimes. So the thing is to kind of catch myself and try not to be at that point. So yeah,
Yeah. Good.
combat cynicism with curiosity. Like, oh, it didn't work last time. I wonder how it's going to work this time, right? Something like that.
Very good. Note that, people, and write it down. Laura, we're getting towards the end of the show, the
Yes.
episode, the time on the bench. How would you? I have a few questions before we go. Is when we talk about belonging, what are like a few values you think people need to pay attention to when seeking for belonging,
Values.
or ingredients?
Were people looking I think good question. It's about looking for, I think, if you want to belong somewhere, or if you want to create it for yourself, I would recommend doing things you enjoy doing and looking for people to do things together. So I think collective action really is the solution, or the big thing.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily always easy. I mean, you can be in a place where you don't connect with people, or people are not doing things that you enjoy doing. Let's say you're in the Netherlands and you're like walking in the mountains. Like, yeah, good luck.
Good.
But yeah, I think that's one big thing. Collective doing or sharing action. So, what else? I mean, when you're in a place and you already belong, make sure that you create space, or you don't have to make the space, but you give space to people coming and to contribute. And that means that your space might change, and it probably will. New people coming in, it disrupts. But give that space. Be open to it. Be curious. Like, how is this going to change things? And don't try to keep things as they are necessarily, even though you like your garden.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that last one because it really says something about being open to connection. What you hear is something people are struggling with, knowing that, this and that person already has his friends, or, everything's already set in stone. That doesn't create any, you're not open to connection or opportunities to meet others. And yeah, I've come across those people as well. And of course, lastly, and I think that's the caveat of this episode, is we talk about, well, you said something about we're in a bad place, but What is then a good place? Or how do you envision a good place? Are you in a good place?
Am I in a good place? I think I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I mean, at the same time, I'm very anxious, I notice. So I'm in a good anxious place where I have a lot of things that I want to be doing. Um, and a good place, that's a good question. I think I don't have to worry about ever getting there, so I can describe it. Um, but yeah, definitely a place where there is more collective. I already said it. I don't know how many at times. Collective action, so doing things together. I mean, I think in terms of context and policy and things like that, there's a lot of things that need to happen um, for social justice. So, you know, if we start talking about that, it's a different podcast. But but a better place is a future I would like to be in. Is a future where there's much more social justice, and when I'm talking about society, I'd like also to include other beings, not only humans. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Sounds like a part 2.
We could do a part 2 and 3.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time and sharing your experiences and your wisdom and your perspectives. And I think that's always what I like hearing most when sitting next to someone on the bench is hearing people's perspectives. Also starts, in my head or feelings, giving giving me a perspective in life. And I hope everyone watching these episodes get also a perspective on, how they stand in life, in society, how they position themselves in their own streets or apartment buildings and so on. As you heard, it's time for collective action. So um, maybe you should get off the couch listening to this podcast
Let's do something.
and do something about it. Think of a topic you care about and start changing it. If you seek for belonging and more connection, reach out, not saying this, but yeah, this is a good place.com. Go and check it out. We're only at the beginning of pinning things in cities, but if you're especially in The Hague and Amsterdam, go have a look. And whenever in The Hague, go and visit Emmershof. Beautiful. Yeah.
And
So thanks.
Weimarswijkpaleis.
And Weimarswijkpaleis, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a great neighborhood space, I have to admit. Yeah, absolutely. If you need something have repaired,
Yeah, don't throw
Yeah,
it out.
yeah,
Come and have
exactly.
coffee.
come have coffee. Even if you don't have to repair anything, just come over and connect.
Exactly. Yeah, we started saying the only thing we don't repair are relationships, but I actually think we do also help with that. So yeah, come.
That is funny, actually. Yeah, to have somebody repair your relationship. Yeah, and it's free.
Yes.
Kindness is free. So go check it out. Thanks everyone for watching. Looking forward to seeing who's next on the bench next to me. Of course, subscribe, like, and follow us. And let's connect soon. All the best. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.